Hey, my name's Chuck, and the loud ones get in the van.
My name's Charlie Wilkins. I'm in the van. I'm affiliated to skateboarding. Do you want to count Johnny Rotten at fucking the Pill show? So yeah, first you can call it punk show is Public Image Limited at the Orpheum. Where's that at? Right next to the Capitol building. That wasn't really punk. That was when Johnny was sucking, but it's kind of punk. I thought it was punk. I love Sex Pistols. First real punk show? That's hard. Maybe Fugazi? I don't know. It's kind of not really punk either. Ooh. God. It's kind of cheesy, but I gotta say the Powell Peralta team, 1985. I mean, that shaped who I was, and it was always kind of a dream of mine to like be pro for Powell, and it actually fucking happened, and I got to stay at Cab's house, and I geek out on that shit every time, you know, like it's weird as fuck. I mean, it's not the most punk thing ever, but it's the most skateboardy thing that, you know, team wise that I was into, and I loved their thing. I loved Tony's fucking tenacity, Stevie's, I don't know, weird little, you know, tricks and stuff, Caballero and stuff, and then Lance's style was just insane. You know, I mean, I had favorites like Gons and Hosoi and those guys, but back in the day, but you know, as far as a team goes, it was definitely Powell Peralta. I mean, they just had the whole kit and caboodle. I mean, Stacy was a genius, you know, putting that team together. So yeah, I mean, that just spoke volumes to a impressionable kid in 1985. Back in the day, it was Dead Kennedys. Now it's Iron Maiden. Run to the hills. Run for your lives. Chris Miller, Upland. It's easy. Front center. It's just Grant always had a way of capturing skateboarding like no other photographer did. And that's the only photographer I follow on Instagram. It's like Grant's the shit. He's been there since fucking day one, you know, longer than everybody, and still fucking in it and still doing it. And his stuff shaped who I am, and that's all I can say. Bad Brains. Like, hands down. For sure. They were super fucking tight. They're the best. And I fucking met HR in Ocean City. So that's top of my list by far. Favorite skateboarder of all time? It's gotta be Gons. I mean, everybody says that shit, but it's gotta be Gons. I mean, he's just the best. He opened the doors. He could skate vert. He could skate street. He could skate anything that's thrown in front of him, and he could have fun at it. So, I mean, that's what skateboarding is about. I was told a long time ago by Mike Valley that a true pro can hang in any situation, and Gons, to this day, can probably still hang in any situation. Vert, street, pool, whatever, doesn't matter. So, yeah, Gons. I think Jalopy Afro. I already said Dead Kennedys, but fuck, I used to seriously fall asleep to his propaganda. I had this boombox by my bed, and I had, fresh fruit, rotting vegetables, and a couple other Dead Kennedys tapes. I'd put it in, and I'd press play, and I'd fall asleep to that shit. And maybe that influenced who I am, I don't know, but yeah, that shit was awesome. Can I do 3? There's no wrong answer, right? You said that. So, Chris Miller, the board. God, it's tough. There's 2 different ones, Chris Miller boards. The one with the hand, with the fish. Love that board. The Gons board. It, somebody gave it to me as a complete, and we gave it away to a friend who needed a board, and I could fucking kick myself now, but that was my favorite board. But then Nodus, the Nodus board, the SMA board, that was my favorite too. And I remember thinking that I could ollie so much higher if I bought Nodus's board. Actually, the best show I saw was recently, Radio Birdman. You know it's too damn cool. I'm coming over after school. All of the other girls, and I'm shooting the girls. I didn't really know about Radio Birdman, but they are sort of 70s surf punk from Australia. Matt Mumford had a song, Early Morning Gunk, in his part in the Toy Machine video. I think it was, I can't remember which one, Toy Machine video. It was like the second one, I think. Jump off a building or something. It just made you want to fucking go skate. And ever since I heard that, I was like, who is this fucking band? And they've been broken up since maybe the 80s. And they got back together, and I went to New York City. And they got back together, and I went to New York City and saw their show. And they were bald as fuck, but as tight as they'd ever been. And that was the best show. Oh, okay, so if you love skateboarding and you want to sort of make it happen in skateboarding, don't try. Just do it. Just fucking skate. I never tried to get sponsored. I never sent out a sponsor me tape or any bullshit like that. Like, and now it's just weird. Like, if people put stuff on YouTube or whatever, but like, I just skated because I loved it, and I thought it was the best thing in the world. And the more you do stuff like that, and the more you focus on yourself, the better you're gonna look to everybody else. If you focus within about skateboarding and just freaking do it for the love, you know, you're gonna come across better. And you know what? If you get good enough, you're gonna get sponsored and you go whatever you want to go. But don't try to go there. Don't try to like get sponsored and all that crap, because you know it's awesome. I wouldn't change a thing, but it's a hard road. So just do it for the love. And if worst case scenario, you did it for the love and nothing happened, you had fun doing it. Okay, coolest motherfucker of the week. I just saw the Vans premiere. Tony Trujillo. He's always been badass. You know, he's been a little bit, you know, sort of under the radar for the last, whatever, couple of years. Not too much, but enough. I mean, he was the shit back in when I was, you know, sort of in the mix. And his part just fucking ruled. And I'm down. I'm backing you, Tony. Awesome. It's funny because, like, I remember always wanting my first pro board to be as epic as some of the graphics, you know, that I grew up on. You know, sort of Tony Hawk's or, you know, actually, it's so funny. GSD's board. I really loved GSD's board. The dinosaurs, and I loved that board. It was weird and simple and awesome, but I loved it. God. Favorite graphic ever. It's gotta be something that's like symmetrical, Nada style, or Mike V Elephant style. That's always what I've been driven to, you know, drawn to. God. If I had to pick one,
gimme!
It's got to have a skull in it for sure. Fuck that, it's got to have a skull in it.
I need some more.
It's got to be in the Powell quiver, because the age I am and what I grew up, you know, seeing in the mags and seeing in the videos, it was a Powell Peralta board for sure. There was a million other amazing graphics, but it's got to be a Cortland board. And so, God, maybe a cab board, early cab board.
Gimme! Don't ask what for. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You know, as my first pro board, I always wanted something epic like Mike V's Elephant board. That board just sort of, it defined a generation of skaters, for especially the time that it came out, street skating. It was the linchpin for fucking street boards. It was a, you know, sort of a more whatever shape, and just the graphic, and it just spoke to me. Like, I don't know, it was just something about it. And Mike V himself was something that was completely different. He was a fucking alien on Powell Peralta. He didn't belong per se, but it fit in a weird kind of way. But it also, you know, George Powell's no dummy. You know, he got him on there, or Stacy got him on there, or whatever, for a certain reason, and it just sort of it just worked. He brought in that street skateboarding thing, and for me as a kid growing up in Massachusetts, and no vert ramps around, no bowls, no whatever, I skated street. And I saw Mike V's board, and I saw Mike V skate, and he's from Jersey, and it just made sense to me, and it worked. And ever since then, my first pro board, I wanted the graphic to be as epic as Mike V's graphic on Powell. So that's probably, I gotta say, that's probably just sort of one of those things in my head that's the graphic that I stick with. I had a lot of other favorites, but that's the one that I sort of aspired to. Perfect punk record is probably Bedtime for Democracy.
Take this job and shove it. I ain't working no more.
I mean, I literally wore that fucking tape out on the side of my bed. I listened to that, you know, going to bed, and I listened to that when I skated, and I listened to that when I was in my car. It was dust by the time I was done with it. It's the best. I don't know for certain the first skate shirt I ever owned, but I can tell you the first one I ever bought with my own money. I went to Beacon Hill Skate in Boston when it was it turned into an ATM later. That's how small the shop was. It's literally that big. And I saw a Tommy Guerrero Aqua shirt in the window, and I walked in and I said, I want that fucking shirt. And I bought that shirt with my own money, and I wore that shit forever. Ooh, I know this for a fact. Joe Johnson Vision Board with the weird Arabic writing and shit on it. Had a weird, very fishy shape. I had a lot of hand-me-downs. You know, I first rode a Nash board. It was very fucking square from whatever, you know, Caldor or something like that. And then my brother got an Executioner that had the dragon stepping on skulls. My first ever board I ever bought was a Joe Johnson Vision board, and that board was pretty fucking cool. Black paint all the way around, circular Arabic writing. Look that shit up. So, favorite sticker ever is Coffee Break. Neil Blender. It's the best. I want 10,000 of them. I mean, that's kind of, there's legendary ones. So, Miller at Upland. I mean, that's the one. He ate so much shit. Oh, I asked Chris about this. He's like, oh, it's okay. So most stylish skater ever, I'm gonna have to break it up because like there's too many good ones. Back in the day it would be Sawyer Miller, you know, both for different reasons. For vert, anyways. For vert later on, God, nowadays, like Jimmy Wilkins. Got my last name, so that makes him like that much higher in my book right there. But that dude rips, and he looks so good doing it. So maybe I'll leave it there. Streetwise, obviously back in the day, you had Nodis and Gons. really beat that stuff. Nowadays, like, honestly, like, it's not even nowadays, but it's more like sort of middays. Gino Iannucci. Like, that dude was so good looking on a board. God, who else? So many good dudes. You know what's so funny is, like, skate trick I couldn't figure out is probably, like, as odd as it sounds, like a layback grind. It's super weird. You're all stretched out. I don't know how Hosoi did it. He was super stretched out, and you're laying down sideways. It's like a Bertelsmann. Like, how do you get back up on top of your board from that? As easy as that sounds. Oh my God, Dougie Death.
Anything I wanna do, I won't take no shit from you. I don't care if you don't like me. Do you think I really care?
Fuck, Dougie Death ruled at life and skateboarding and building and everything. He's doing good building now, but, like, God, he was so good, you know? And there's other ones too, but I don't know, just Dougie's the shit. Honestly, you know what would be a dream session? It'd be really, really fun. Would be like Blender, Joe Lopes, Cab would rip it. Cab, Lance Mountain on a mini ramp, like a weird little elliptical mini ramp, kind of like Blender's mini ramps. That would be a fun one. It's a dork around session. It's like, fuck it. Like, it's kind of like the Ban This movies where, you know, Lance and Blender and all those guys. Like, I loved those times. Like, they were so much fun. They made skateboarding look fun, and skateboarding can be really fucking serious. And, like, my whole career has been the whole whatever. It's been too serious. Like, just have fun. And honestly, like, video parts, even tonight's video, you know, it was epic video, but, like, I want to see more of, like, the Bones Brigade video show where it's like a bunch of dudes just skating a spot and just, you know, everybody's just going. It's not like this guy's part or this guy's part or this guy's part. Skateboarding is grabbing your buddies and going to a spot, going to a fucking ditch or a pool or whatever, and having a good time. So I want to see more of that. And honestly, that's my dream session, is like skating with the best dudes I could think of. Not to best skaters, but just funnest guys, and just having a blast and just dorking around and having fun, just doing weird tricks. I think I've already had my dream session, and it's with my pals, you know, like in my backyard or in their backyard or whatever. And that's just skateboarding. It's like, it's just fun stuff. Oh, this is fucked. Weird tour story. So I was skating for Powell, and Jamie Fortune. This sucks. I'm sorry, Jamie. Jamie Fortune was skating for Powell, ripping, awesome skater, good dude. We're on tour. The only room they had left had a king-size bed. So me and Jamie are sleeping next to each other in this king-size bed. And it's all well and good. You know, he's got his ashtray on his chest, he's smoking butts, and it's all good. We fall asleep. And I wake up maybe like 4 in the morning or 5 in the morning or something like that. And Jamie's having a wet dream next to me. I was kind of dying. I was like, holy shit, this is really happening next to me. And he was all breathing heavy and doing his thing and just dreaming about awesome stuff. And And I was kind of creeping this way a little bit, and yeah, and then he's, and you know he was kind of done, and he rolled over, and I was like, man, I need a rape shower. ZT Maximus, for me, it actually was like a pivot point in skateboarding in Boston, because the first time I went there was the 1989 tour for Powell. And I saw Tony Hawk, Kevin Harris, Steve Saez, and probably a couple other dudes like skating there. But it was just absolutely jam-packed. And Maximus was this weird little place with a 9-foot tall vert ramp with 9-foot transies. And it was this crazy little skate park in Boston that didn't have high enough ceilings. But I saw Tony Hawk trying backside kickflip ollies, like no grab, in '89, which was insane because nobody was trying anything like that. It was blowing my mind back then. So that was in my backyard. I lived in Mass, and I went into Boston with my parents and went to this demo. And I was like, oh my God, this is insane. And then later on, they started dropping me off there to go skate at this half motor scooter cart place, half skate park that Ken ran. And the fact that my parents dropped me off there was insane, because it smelled like weed, and it was just dirty as hell. It was right sandwiched between projects, and that just goes to show like where skateboarding was back in the day. You know, now everybody wants a proper concrete skate park under the Zachem. That's all good and well, but back in the day, we fought for places to skate, and that was an indoor place. Any time of the year, you could go there, and you could skate there, and it was awesome. And they had a vert ramp that Kevin Day called the baby ramp. I'll never forget that, actually. The vert ramp was a 9-foot tall vert ramp. There was a mini ramp that was 6 foot tall. Both had gigantic coping, and I was skating the mini ramp, and I'd go around the corner. I was too scared to skate the vert ramp, and Kevin Day was up there with full pads on, and this was like hockey pads. Like, he looked like he was in the movie Rollerball. It was insane. He was ready for battle, but he was doing the most amazing stuff, and it was like the closest thing that I've ever come to, like, you know, seeing a proper guy skate vert, and he was ripping. And he said to me, he said, why don't you stop skating the mini ramp and come skate the baby ramp? And I remember going, oh my God, he called this 9-foot tall thing a baby ramp? This is insane. This guy's crazy. And Kevin, I'll never forget that as long as I live. I've told you this story before, but that's crazy stuff. Yeah. That showed me that, like, my little microcosm of skateboarding was a lot smaller than what I thought it was. And to think bigger. So, thanks, Kevin. ZT Maximus skate park. Pivotal point in my life. You know, I grew up skating there. You know, the vert ramp to the mini ramp turned into a street course. Zito was out of the picture. Dougie Death's in there. Rom's in there. You know, they're making it happen. They're building more stuff. They're building awesome shit to skate. And all the skaters in Boston, that was the haven, you know, for what, 5 months out of the year? It was insane. So we all went there. We all learned. We all grew. It was kind of the first generation out from guys like Kevin. And, you know, we're all skating there. We're getting better. We're getting good. Jamal Williams, you know, Robbie Jimmy, me. everybody else, Pam and Dan, all those guys. And Jamal was skating for a company called TV, and that was Templeton Valley. And so he knew, Mike Valley, and he knew that Mike had gone back to Powell at the time and was coming back through this area and looking for dudes and for the Powell team, trying to rebuild the Powell brand because it was kind of in the dumpster at that point. And he got a hold of me and said, hey, go to this demo. Powell's doing a demo. Mike V is going to be there. Cab's going to be there. A couple other Powell guys. And he said, go there and go skate. And they're looking for dudes. And I went there and I skated my ass off. And I was freaked out because I'm skating this baby vert ramp thing. And I was doing some baby vert ramp tricks with Steve Caballero. And I was just about shitting my pants. But at the end of the session, when we were done skating, Cab said to me, he said, oh, you were ripping. So I was like, holy shit, this is insane. A guy I looked up to my whole life is telling me I'm ripping. So I was kind of blown away. And at the end of the whole day, Mike V says to me, he says, all right, you're sponsored by Powell now. Here's a board, here's some Swiss bearings, which are freaking gold. And you're coming on tour with us next, whatever. And so that was the beginning of where I got to in skateboarding. And I owe it to Jamal Williams, and I owe it to Mike V, and I owe it to Caballero, that those guys had enough faith in me to like see something in me to push me forward in skateboarding. So, but it all hinged on Maximus. It never would have happened if Maximus wasn't there. So it's kind of amazing that could be, the pivot point for, my life anyways, and I'm sure it was other kids' life too. I think Adam Air. Either that or Dan Esterbrook. I don't know if he was pro, but I remember a Transworld article, Boston Tea Party, and those dudes were skating like the BCH hospital volcano banks, transition banks, and I remember just going, oh my god, these guys are ripping. And it was early, it was like 86, 87, something like that. And I remember just being blown away that guys were doing that kind of awesome stuff in Boston, like right next to where I was growing up. And they were in Transworld, and that blew my mind. Because I thought all that stuff, all that skateboard crap happened in California. Never happened in Boston. No fucking way. No way was there anything getting covered or happening in Boston. But this article in Transworld showed me that you could do that kind of stuff that you saw, on the vert ramps of Cali in Boston. The future should be style. The future should be like making it look easy, make it look like you're not trying. Make it look so simple. Style it out, and just innovate. You go to a spot and you look at something, and instead of just feeble grinding the rail or popping up to whatever, just do something weird on it. Get awesome on stuff.
As gray as a monarch, the moments I pass. The whiskey bottle is my globe, and the specter is my glass. My table is my throne, and the bar is my corp. The bar is my subject, and drinking is my sport. Don't look for me in daylight, the robots all assemble. You'll find me in my dark world.